Ladies and gentlemen, and all you freaking nerds, we are a digitale, a waypointe without the A's. Digital Waypoint. That's what we're talking about. That's the second time we did that because the first time I tried to do my robot voice. My name is Noah. I'm sitting across from Mason. I have the better robot voice, Mason. How are you doing?
I didn't know if that was like a cue for me to do the robot voice. I'm not doing it.
Can you do the robot voice?
No, I can't do it.
Here, I'll let them.
This is my robot voice, so I say, like, what would a robot say? Check your transmission.
Okay.
All right. You say check your transmission in a robot voice.
I can't even get the breathing right. I'm going to suffocate on the podcast.
Come on.
Check your transmission.
I can't do it.
That's not bad. That wasn't bad. And here's the thing, all you beautiful people listening, he looked super cute when he was doing it. There we go. Got it back in there. All right. Like I said, we are Digital Waypoint, and we are very happy that you're listening to our podcast. If you like that song you just heard, because you absolutely did, you're going to love my boy A Cloudy Sky. A Cloudy Sky, Sky spelled S-K-Y-E. You can listen to him anywhere that you listen to music. He released a remix of a song just a couple days ago, and it's freaking dope. He's good, and he's a cool dude. So go hit him up. You can find him on Instagram as well. Great dude. All righty. Now today, we're taking a play out of our old book, and we're cutting this series into 2 parts, 3 parts.
Officially 2 parts. The episode. 2 episodes after this is kind of going to play into these, but it's not officially. I wouldn't say that it's 3 parts.
2 parts with a redheaded stepchild. And today, we're starting off that 2-part redheaded stepchild with looking at the history of 3D platformers. Now, This is a genre, spoiler alert, I don't play particularly a lot of, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But Mason, I know this is kind of your shtick, your
this
deal.
This is my realm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it'll be God, I'm clearing my voice again, or clearing my throat. I got to stop that. I told myself before this.
The wife's going to be mad.
I know. She's just going to send me an audio clip of just all the times. It's gonna be,
I'll do that. You kidding me?
So this will kind of be a reversal of last week, which was talking about CDPR, and I don't have a huge history with, actually, I don't have it at all a history with any of their games. So, I just played Wingman with that, and you have more of a history with 3D platformers than I did with CD Projekt Red. So, I think we'll have a good discussion about why I was interested in them and why you weren't. And
that's what we're here for. We're here for good discussions.
That's right. All right. There I go again. It's a habit. I'm going to have to stop. All right. So, okay. We'll get into the history of 3D platformers really quick. So, it's 1990. You're playing your MS-DOS, which...
Horrible name.
Yeah.
What is it? What does that mean?
Microsoft... I looked today.
The operating system.
Yeah, it is. It's Microsoft. The operating system. No. It is. It doesn't say. Microsoft Disk Operating System. So I mean, you got.
I was pretty.
Yeah,
I was pretty close.
This isn't. It's not a system I had, and I highly doubt that you had it either. It's more for like people that were close to adult age in the 80s. It's where Doom and Wolfenstein got their start.
Really?
Yep. MS-DOS.
Wow. I didn't know that about Doom. I didn't know Wolfenstein was that old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wolfenstein, I think, came out before Doom 2, maybe right after Doom 2.
Really?
I think it's pretty, both of them. There I go again. Gosh, pretty.
3 times. In how long?
It's probably like a minute. It's becoming like this nervous habit, I guess. I don't know. Because surely I don't need to clear my throat that much, but
I hope not.
yeah, I don't know. May need to go to the doctor.
I was about to say, need to go see a doctor or something.
All right, so usually on your MS-DOS, you're spending your time playing like 3D simulated games, which aren't really 3D, like Dungeon Master, which has the 3D effect like Doom and Wolfenstein had back then, where it was really 2D and you saw your gun, but like it was kind of like a parallax effect. When you're
what?
Parallax.
What does that mean?
It's like when you have a background behind a background and it moves to simulate a 3D effect, but it's actually just like a 2D. They did it in Mario and things like that too, where it makes things look further behind and it moves slower than it does in front of you.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's depth, but there's not really, because it's just like a picture on top of another picture. So kind of like that. Or this is where Civilization started too, which I've never been into strategy games, but MS-DOS.
I'm too stupid for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think
I have
I can
friends
do
that
it.
like them. Don't like them.
Losers.
So, all right, it's 1990. You're playing your Dungeon Master. You're playing your Civilization. Doom hasn't come out yet. So then this game comes out called Alpha Waves. And Alpha Waves, it's a pretty cool name. I thought
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
Alpha Waves, was released.
4.
We're just gonna start a timer.
I'll count.
A counter, yeah.
All right, we're at 4, and we have gotten through 5 sentences.
In the YouTube version of this, we'll just put a counter up in the top corner. Ding. So I'm too lazy for that. I'm not doing it. But so Alpha Waves was released in 1990 for the MS-DOS, and it's the first 3D platformer to be released. So Alpha Waves has 2 main modes. It has action and emotion. I don't know why they called it emotion mode instead of just like free mode.
Kinda
or
makes
like
you uncomfy.
Yeah, right.
It makes you a little comfortable.
Why wouldn't they just call this free mode? Like, I don't know.
Hangout mode.
Emotion mode.
Emotion. Get wrapped in our emotion.
So the gameplay for both was the same, but in emotion mode, every room in the game is a cube, and the walls contain doorways leading to other rooms, so that in this way, players have to work their way through the game's rooms and reach the different areas based on different emotions. So I guess that's why they call it emotion mode, but I never played it. I just watched the video really short today. But then in action mode, players race against a clock. And this one, there's not an end to the game. In emotion mode, there's an end to the game, and this, there's not, and you can keep going on and on and on for a high score. And then emotion mode time wasn't limited, and it allowed people to explore the game's environment, while action mode was super difficult, causing most people to play it in emotion mode, which I can kind of understand, because when I was playing 3D platformers, and I still do, now I play them mostly to satisfy like my completionist, go through and get all of the coins or all of the diamonds or whatever, that all 3D platformers have. Now I kind of go through and I just grind through them and beat them. But where back when I was a kid playing these, I'd get lost in the multiplayer levels of DK64. Like, those things are tiny. And I'd go around and be like, this is massive.
Yeah.
So, and just play around in that with my brothers. We wouldn't even fight. We just run around the worlds and stuff.
I couldn't play those with my brother because I would beat him and he would get really pissed, and I would get pissed that he wasn't congratulating me. And so
Congratulate me!
So I was like, I beat you. Shake hands. We're like 6 and 4. He's like, no!
Shake my hand.
It was a war.
Hey. It's understandable. This blanket on the table is not soft enough.
It's not. I hit my elbow. I hit my elbow.
All right. So fast forward to the mid to late 90s. And now when you talk about the N64 or the PlayStation 1, it's pretty much impossible to avoid talking about 3D platformers, because they really started becoming a mainstream thing for these systems. On PlayStation, you had Crash Bandicoot, you had Croc, you had Gex, you had Spyro Trilogy that just got remastered. You had Ape Escape, and then Pac-Man also had a 3D platformer.
What the heck is Croc?
Croc? You've never heard of Croc? I get not
Croc.
hearing of Gex. But
I
Croc?
what's it called again? Croc.
Legend of the Gabos.
Legend. Yeah, it's real. Oh, not PS4. Croc Legend of the Gabos.
I can't believe you've never heard of Croc.
I've never heard of Croc. And
Yeah.
then I think I've heard of the Gex one. I've definitely seen the cover art for Gex,
Yeah.
because it's like the weird gecko. He's like, they're going for like a James Bond type of thing, right? Yeah. So I kind of know about that.
Okay.
Croc, never heard of. Hadn't heard of Ape Escape.
That's sad.
I played a Spyro game, hated it.
I'm ready for you to be like, I don't know who Pac-Man is.
Well, I didn't know that Pac-Man had a freaking. I didn't know he had a
platformer?
platform.
Yeah, Pac-Man, the Pac-Man
Pac-Landia?
World. Pac-Landia.
I thought that was the name of it.
It's not a bad name.
Yeah,
I think that might
Pac-Landia.
be. But a name of something. But these were called Pac-Man World, and there were two of them. There was one on the PS1 and one on the GameCube and PS2.
Oh.
That one was pretty good. It might not have been good, but when I played it when I was a kid, I really liked it.
It's freaky looking.
So, anyway, those are. We'll get into Nintendo 64, which I'm sure you'll know.
Yeah.
We've got Banjo, Kazooie, and Tooie, DK64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Rayman 2, The Great Escape, which was also on Dreamcast, and then Super Mario 64, which is the holy grail to everybody. Which
Yeah, evidently.
I don't understand it, but whatever.
Look at us young new kids bashing on the old people stuff.
Yeah, right.
Look at
I
that.
I
Reinforcing
haven't
the
ever
stereotype.
completed Super Mario 64.
I never played it.
We're really got some informed opinions going on right now.
I've watched people speedrun it.
Yeah.
And it looks hard, like the speedrun.
Mhm.
But the game looks like it controls like
Yeah, you can download mods when you emulate it on PC, and they make the controls better.
I just want to you think they have a CJ from GTA 3 San Andreas? Or that's not
Mod?
GTA 3. Yeah, do you think they have a mod where they make Mario CJ
I'm
from San
sure.
Andreas?
Probably.
That would be freaking awesome.
I probably
I
do.
think every game needs to have a CJ from San Andreas mod to replace the main character, because it's so funny to me. I don't know why. I saw it on Dark Souls. Whatever. Sorry.
Like Spyro?
Huh?
Spyro could have CJ breathing fire and slamming, headbutting people.
Every time, instead of like the normal fire noise, it's the guy going, Big Smoke. Big Smoke yell, catch the damn train, CJ! That'd be freaking dope,
That
dude.
would be pretty funny. So, God! 5. All right.
You had like a little one, like right after we were talking about it, as you were getting back into it, you kind of like, so I didn't count it.
Okay. I appreciate that.
So technically 5.5.
I could use all the free ones I can get.
Sorry.
So then you had PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo GameCube, which brought these games to another level. This was when almost everybody's company mascot was a 3D platformer character. So you had Sly Cooper, you had Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sonic, and then Mario. And Sonic did start the 3D platformer entry into the 3D platformer genre on the Dreamcast, which is technically in the same, I think it's the same generation as the N64 and PlayStation 1.
I get confused with them.
Yeah. When you're talking about Sony, it's hard to keep track. Like, I have no clue when the Saturn was and all that. But I mean,
The
Sega.
what? Oh, I was like, you mean the car?
Yeah, I mean the car. I don't know what generation that was. I just I keep track of my life in console generations. I don't refer to like freshman, junior, or even like high school years. I just say like Gen 5 was a heck of a time. I hit puberty in Gen 5.
Still in puberty, Gen 6.
So anyway, Sonic made his 3D platformer debut on the Dreamcast, but I think that most people didn't play them until they were remastered as Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I don't think people played Adventure 1 and Adventure. I mean, people obviously did.
Yeah. Dreamcast is much more popular in Japan.
That's very true. But most people that I know personally haven't played until GameCube.
No, yeah. That's what I'm saying is like a lot of people that we know probably like I never had a Dreamcast.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason they remade them so quickly because it hadn't been very long. And they were like, okay, we need to get these into another market, which was on the GameCube. So, and that was right after because the Dreamcast didn't sell well, so they stopped making consoles. So then moving into the 6th generation, like I was saying with the PlayStation 2 and GameCube, it also brought other characters and new IPs into this genre, which is Ty the Tasmanian Tiger and SpongeBob getting their 3D platform debut.
Those are some good games.
Yeah. I never played the SpongeBob game that just got remastered that everybody was unhappy with. But Battle for Bikini Bottom, I think.
Yeah, I played that on GameCube. I haven't played the remaster. People didn't like it. I didn't like the art style.
From what I saw, people didn't like it compared to the old one. It's kind of like you not liking the remastered Ratchet and Clank. The equivalent.
That's because one of them is a good game, the other one's objectively a poor game.
Well, maybe this one's a bad game. I don't know. I haven't played either of them. I'm not a SpongeBob fan, so I wasn't allowed to watch it for one thing.
Yeah. Did your parents say it was too stupid?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the only excuse any parents could make. It's too stupid. Yeah. Like, wow, I could be real stupid right now, Mom. You want me to show off some stupid?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then other games.
Bad parenting.
We're back with the parenting.
Back with the parenting. Tips. I got all the tips. You a parent? Talk to me.
That's right.
Tell you how to raise your kid good.
So, other games came about in this generation too, as in like I think Tak started in this. Tak, what was it? Tak and the Power of
Juju. That was a good game.
Yeah. And so there were more games jumping into this genre. And then I would say that this is probably the peak of this genre. Is going to be Gen 5, Gen 6, the PlayStation 1 and 2, Nintendo 64, GameCube. Because right after that, it seemed to kind of decline. So we'll stop right here while we're at a good point, because I do want to kind of get your opinions on, like I said at the beginning, these are probably make up like my favorite game genre. They're not my absolute favorite because I do like story-driven games and I do like things like that. But I was in the middle of playing Days Gone and stopped playing because I was playing Bowser's Fury. And then I wanted to go back to Days Gone, and I was like, So then I instead started playing Super Mario Galaxy on the 3D collection for the Switch. And for some reason, I just like playing them better. Like, it's just, I like the other games. I recognize they're really good. But if I'm just going to play something in bites, I think, and I think that's what kind of my life is made up. Like, I can't sit down and really get invested into a game. So I play these.
Can't hardcore game.
Yeah. So I play these, like, I can go through and play a couple worlds on Mario Galaxy, or I can go through and play a couple worlds on Spyro, the Reignited trilogy, or I thought about starting DK64 again, or something like that, where you can go through and just kind of play for a little bit, which I was going to get into is I think one of the reasons that these games stick with people and are really good for kids and good for, I guess not really good for teenagers. That's probably why it fell out of, I stopped playing them when I was that age. Because then I had time to just put into, I had so much time to just pour into games, and I started playing like MMOs. I started playing, that's when I got through the Uncharted series. I was really into multiplayer games. I don't have that kind of time now. So I think one of the reasons it appeals to me as an adult, again, is obviously nostalgia, because I just play games I've already played. Like, there's other 3D platformers that we'll talk about next week that are indies and newer things that I haven't gotten around to because I just like going back and playing them. There's some, there's a sense of comfort there, and then it's easy to play in bite-sized pieces. So this is probably, as a whole, probably my favorite genre. So tell me about why you think that this never clicked for you and what you did instead.
Well, it's funny. Like I was kind of looking at this beforehand, and I was trying to think of like, all right, what are the big GameCube games that I played? I played a lot of Zelda.
Yeah.
So I had a GameCube. That was like, I got a GameCube, man, pretty close to when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I played that jaunt so hard.
See, and maybe that's another reason that I like these is because. So, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to point this out.
yeah.
So, growing up, I played my N64 all the way up until almost all the way through the Wii's life cycle because we had a replay games down the street.
Yeah.
This GameStop. Well, they're out of business now too.
Yeah.
But there was a replay.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Honestly, yeah. There's still 2 more within like 10 miles.
Yeah. It's insane.
Wow. Really lost one there. So, we had a replay games and they had N64 games, but I don't remember when I got my GameCube. It was also late into it, like really late into the life cycle because everything was already out. And I think a lot of it had to do with my parents too. They didn't know what The Legend of Zelda was, but my dad knew what Donkey Kong was and Sonic and Mario and all that. So, and these are things that I didn't know to ask for. My parents would just get them for me because I wasn't in the know enough to know. So anyway, I played it all the way up through it because we were playing the Wii and we were playing Brawl, Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
We had a Wii for like 6 months, and okay, your brother was a sore loser because he wouldn't shake your hand.
Yeah.
I beat mine, and he got up and just stomped on the Wii. Stomped on the Wii. Absolutely destroyed it. My GameCube was broken. I couldn't go back and play that, so I went back and played the N64 until we could buy a new Wii, which I don't know how long that was.
Wow.
You know, that was when like you couldn't get them. So absolutely destroyed the Wii. And then I went back to playing N64 because there's replay games down the street. So maybe because I was playing it all the way up through the times that you were playing GameCube and the times that you were playing Skyward Sword on the Wii, it was like, I'm still playing the N64. So that could be why. Anyway,
Yeah.
Continue. I didn't mean to get off on that tangent.
Yeah.
That was Gabe, by the way.
I know. Oh, okay. Yeah.
The youngest one?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brothers, I know who they are.
Yeah.
But you said
It's
they're
the real tall youngest
and I
one.
have to sit there like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I was trying to think of like what I played on the GameCube, and like I said, I played a lot of Zelda. That was like the chunk of what I played.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking, I played Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
Mm-hmm.
I played Super Mario Sunshine. I played Crash Bandicoot. I played, I played these different platformer games, and I was like, man, maybe I did play. I think I played a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
but they were just like, I think you were kind of talking about like why you think they work well for like a sort of a younger audience. I think a big reason that they work so well as what you said, I think is because they're simple.
They are.
Like they're not thought intensive games, you know. I mean, like I was looking at the list and I think of Crash,
mm-hmm.
where it's like gameplay wise, that is simple. You walk, or you run, jump, spin. That's it.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
and there are mechanics, but like the base premise of it, walk, jump, or run, jump, spin.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say this to try and make myself, look like my brain is just bulging out of my head.
It wasn't stimulating enough.
It
I needed
wasn't.
to be managing inventory.
It wasn't. It was. That's why I liked, I think, Zelda so much, was because I had to think.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember thinking, like I didn't in, jeez Louise, I don't know, Adventure Battle 2.
Yeah,
I didn't have to think.
Yeah,
because granted, it's a Sonic game, so
the
whole premise.
Is that where you learned all your parenting tips on the chows?
No, that I like the chows, but I thought a lot, like I think a lot, but especially when I was a kid, I was ignorant. And I had no idea that there was anything past what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And so when I learned that there was like, the light chow garden, the dark chow garden, I was like, what? Like I played this game 4 years.
Yeah. I remember I flipped out too when I found that out.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So I think that a big thing that generally a younger audience preferred is because it is so simple and it's something that people can get into. I think what kind of like what you said was like for why you still play it a lot is because it's easy to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the difference between you said it was Days Gone and Super Mario Galaxy.
There's a big
It's
difference.
like there is, one of them is about a guy who thinks that his wife died, and it's also hard for me because my wife's got the same name, so it's weird for me. Thinks his wife died, and they're in a zombie apocalypse. His best friend got his arm damn near burnt off, and he's trying to deal with all of this crap, and then you have fat mustache man jumping through space.
It's very true.
It's like
that's a good point.
So it's like it's much easier to kind of just put down, pick up, put down, pick up, put down, pick up. And so I think like I really I liked being enveloped in a world. I liked I wasn't like I didn't have a lot of friends when I was a kid, and I wasn't like a confident kid.
Yeah.
And so I liked the idea of I loved, like, I'll go back. I loved Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that I could basically view Link as a husk, that I was Link.
Yeah.
And so I liked the games where it felt like I could sort of like ignore the world and just like dive into.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like you can really do that as well.
Yeah.
Generally in 3D platformers, because they're generally all at least back in like specifically looking at Gen 5, 6, they're crazy animated, crazy whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like I preferred the ones, and I mean, even though you can argue Zelda, there's like nothing is real in Zelda, but it was much more realistic.
Yeah.
And so I think that was honestly the biggest reason, because I like being able to kind of just like delve into something. And I felt like it was all repetitive. I mean, there's so many times I can hear Mario do his whoa when he jumps.
I agree with all of that. And I really didn't get into, I mean, this just comes back to you really loving RPGs.
Yeah.
And I would say my favorite genre is probably still like story-driven games, like God of War and Uncharted and all that. But like I said, as a whole, it's like this. So, and I agree with that, because I really like playing through those games for the story and seeing how everything develops. But I've just never really been into a game where, like you said, Link is a husk and you can see yourself as Link. Like, I wasn't a big Elder Scrolls guy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've played Skyrim and it's fun, but I'd lose interest like 30 hours in. I'm like, I'm done. I don't like this. And I know, I mean, RPGs are huge for people, and they've been around. I mentioned Dungeon Master on the MS-DOS in 1990, and actually, I think that might have been before 1990. So, late 80s. People have always loved those. And I do like the occasional one, and that mostly hit when I was a teenager. But so I definitely see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the same way that I would get with 3D platform, or like when I was a kid, it was much easier to enjoy that type of stuff. And nowadays, like, and we're going to talk about this in 2 weeks. I really did not enjoy anything about Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty.
Yeah.
It was fun to look at.
Yeah.
And that's it. I didn't, I'm not going to marry somebody just because they're pretty and fun to look at. My wife's got a lot more substance to it.
Yeah.
To her.
To it.
Oh, jeez Louise. Sorry, Sarah. But like, I just didn't enjoy, like, jumping, running, spinning.
Yeah.
I like something that's deeper.
Yeah. you're right, and everything pretty much is the same when it comes to 3D platformers. Like I said earlier, you collect stuff in pretty much all of them.
Yep.
In Mario, I guess Mario you kind of don't. I guess Mario you just do all the hidden stars and stuff. But in you can get coins and all that, but it's just for a score.
Yeah.
Like they're not for any completion thing. But like in Jack, you've got all the orbs, and you've got the precursor orbs, and you've got the cells.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And then in Crash, you've got the jewels now, and you've got all the fruits, and you've got, I don't even know what's the most recent Crash game, Crash 4, I heard was overwhelming, as in getting close to DK64 level.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's funny.
yeah.
It's funny that we're kind of saying that I'm sort of against 3D platform. The first game I ever played was DK64.
It's a good game.
Yeah,
a lot of people say it's not. I disagree.
I enjoyed it.
Granted,
I have not played DK64 since probably 2002. So there's been a little bit of gray.
You might not like it when you go back.
I mean, I would imagine that the nostalgia will run off right as I've had to correct the camera one too many damn times before I sit there I'm gonna explode.
Yeah,
that's the biggest advancement.
With the C buttons, yeah,
that's the biggest advancement in gaming is the dual stick.
Yeah,
and being able to control the camera would be that. After that, games got good.
I agree. I mean, because the N64 suffered from limitations on the 3D aspect because it didn't have that double stick.
Yeah,
which later on in the PS1
had a whole extra arm.
I know that
they couldn't fix a stick or a stupid camera.
But then the PlayStation solved that by releasing the first DualShock. So, and now we're at the DualSense after 4 DualShocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pretty much all alike as far as collecting and platforming in 3D.
But yeah, and I feel honestly that's just that's how they always are.
Yeah.
That's how games always are. You had, you get to Call of Duty. Call of Duty came out, and from that point on, I mean, Call of Duty is the standard for FPS controls.
Yeah.
It is always X to reload, or okay. On the 4 buttons, the left button is reload, top button is generally swap. In Skyrim or in Elder Scrolls, it's jump. Just stupid.
Which one is?
What?
Which button?
Triangle or Y is generally jump.
In Skyrim? I didn't know that. I probably changed my controls.
No, yeah. As soon as I started any new Elder Scrolls game or Bethesda game, because I guess it's not just Elder Scrolls, it's Bethesda. I immediately mess with the controls. but
weird.
I say that to say, games. And I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways. Games copy each other. Game developers copy each other, and I think that's the way it should be. But that also generally means that some of their more negative qualities can show up, and I just feel I notice the negative qualities over the positive, positive qualities more often in platformers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get that. And I think a lot of this also plays into why I never touched an Xbox for a long time. All of their Xbox, I think, was geared towards an older audience. They bought Banjo and stuff, but then ruined him and all that.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
how before we started recording, Mason was breathing into his mic, and he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna have a whistle in my nose."
Do I have one
time?
now?
No, I think I don't know if you can hear this.
I mean, barely.
It's very faint.
Yeah,
there's a whistle.
There's a whistle.
You did this.
I brought it up.
It's to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm pissing. I got a dick with my nose. Go ahead.
All right. So, anyway, I think this is why Xbox never really meshed with me, and that's why I stuck to PlayStation. Like I always had the Nintendo systems. They were always my side system. Not really anymore because I don't really play my PS5, but they were always like the systems I got because they always came out weird. Like the PS2 would come out, and then a couple of years later it was the GameCube, and then the PS3 would come out, and a couple of years later it was the Wii.
They're not on the same schedule.
Nintendo kind of just says screw it. They're not like Xbox, or they're not like Microsoft and Sony. They release within weeks. They're just kind of, we're going to do our own thing.
Yeah.
So they've always been kind of the side system that I get when I can get it. I usually try and get, well, I've gotten the PS4 and PS5 on release date. But anyway, I've just never gotten into Xbox.
Yeah.
Which you did.
I did. That was the first like I had Nintendo growing up, and it wasn't until my grandfather had a PS2 that he
Mine
let.
had a PS3. So weird.
Huh?
Mine had a PS3.
Yeah. He would.
What is
He
it
would
with
let
grandpas and PlayStation.
he would let me and my cousin play it, but my cousin lived an hour away. And so we would go a couple months. I had it, he had it. I had it, he had it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until, I don't know what year that would have been. It was an Xbox 360. That was like my first
I think that was 07
big boy.
when it came out.
It was definitely after that.
Mm-hmm.
My first big boy console.
Yeah.
And I got it, one, because a lot of my friends had it, but also because Halo was like huge. Call of Duty. Call of Duty's not exclusive, but Halo was kind of the big deal. Like that was like
COD kind of wasn't exclusive for 360 in those days, though. Like it wasn't, but it pretty much, you were playing second rate on PlayStation.
Oh yeah, because you were playing second rate on anything PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Everything about PlayStation 3 sucked.
Okay,
it was horrible.
Let's rein it in.
Okay.
I don't even know what that was.
I was gonna say it was a doorstop, but I couldn't think of it quickly, and so my brain just like
But yeah, so there were also like we just went through and said all of these games are the same, but I have a note on here that they're pretty varied, so I'm going to contradict myself. They are really the same, but they had a lot of like subgenres in them where Sly Cooper was heavy stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Rayman and Ty were pretty combat focused, and over like Mario where you just jump.
Yeah.
So
Mario's about as bare bone as you get.
Yeah. Because before that it was like Jack had a projectile with one of the Ecos, Red Eco, and Crash could spin, and Spyro had fire. But like Ty, whose brother's name is Sly, canonically.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So that was when everybody had a Shadow character.
Yeah,
there was a Sonic and there was a Shadow in every game.
But not everybody followed up with Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, which I think every major like a Ty, like a Luigi, like all of them need to have their game where they just go off the rails. You have Sonic Adventure Battle 2 where I like running and chili dogs, and then damn, and you're shooting guns. Like, you have to have the departure, otherwise I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done with your franchise.
I remember that came out, and I was so mad because my parents wouldn't let me get it because the whole time he's like, damn. Every time he gets shot.
My cousin had it, and we had to sit down. My cousin, his mom, my mom, and me, and I had to cover my ears when he was like, anytime he does anything in the game, he says, damn. And I remember my parents are like, you can play it, but you have to turn the volume all the way down. And one time, I went rogue.
Yeah.
And I turned it all the way up. And I heard it. I went straight to my parents. And I said, is damn a bad word? And they were like, I told you to play on silent. And I was like, damn it, I didn't. So that's where I learned damn. Shadow the Hedgehog.
There we go. Shadow the Hedgehog.
So all that to say, every single mainline, like, can't think of the word.
Franchise.
franchise.
What are you looking for? I don't know what you're looking
Farts.
for. Series.
No. Like Virginia Tech Hokies. The Hokie bird is a
mascot.
There we go. Fart.
Whew, we're playing charades.
Dude, that was frustrating. I think every mainline mascot needs to have their dark character who goes off the rails, because Shadow the Hedgehog is a national treasure.
You're not wrong.
That game is so freaking funny.
Yeah.
And so intense.
It's about the same level of treasure as Sonic 06. No, it's not. Sonic 06 had weird human.
Sonic 06 basically mainline furries in the gaming world.
It did.
And for that, we're frustrated. That's why we don't talk about that game.
To go back to my list, Sonic is really fast-paced platforming. Like, the other ones are not at all. And then DK and Banjo were based around exploration, really, and then collectathons. Like, that was their bread and butter, pretty much. Like, it wasn't just pure platforming, really jumping around, doing all these spins like Mario, and didn't have any heavy combat. It had guns and stuff, which I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and this guy was like, This is just not a healthy game to be playing. I was like, he shoots pineapple. It says his coconut gun in the song, which I couldn't listen to that song because it's theme song. I think I said I don't know, theme song, because it says, I think it says DK is one hell of a guy. I couldn't listen to it. I think so. Yeah. I just skip it. So I got real familiar with seeing that DK sign spin. As soon as I saw Cranky spinning the records, I'd be like, spill. It's a good song too, though.
It is a phenomenal song.
I saw, so Grant Kirkhope, I think is his name, he did Banjo, he did DK, DK and Banjo have really good soundtracks.
Oh, phenomenal. They're almost completely identical.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically the same.
Yeah. You could swap them back and forth, and a lot of people wouldn't notice. But then he also did like all of the Donkey Kong Country stuff that was really good, or a lot of it. So he posted on Twitter the other day, and he had nose surgery, and he posted a picture of his bloody nose and bandage, and he was like, somebody saw me in the street and found out I was the guy that wrote the DK rap and just punched me in the nose. And it's like his face is all swollen and busted up. And
oh my God, what is his name?
I was like, man. Huh?
What's his name?
Grant Kirkhope.
Hope, yeah.
Yes, Kirkhope, yeah. If you just look at his Twitter, it's so funny. People were like, I can't believe somebody would do that. And he had to like make another one and be like, no, I had surgery. It's okay. You see it?
No, I don't see it.
Hang on a minute. Oh, I can't message you, even though you're sitting across from me. Anyway.
That's fine. Keep talking. I'll find it.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking of music, though, I feel like 3D platformers, to kind of go back to another reason that I think they land with a lot of people, is the music, and most of them are really good. Like, the Sly music is really good. The Tasmanian Tiger opening song with the guitar and the Outback sounds, that was a good song. The start screen.
I think I remember.
Good song. I'll play it for you after this. Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog, Adventure 1 and 2, Crush 40, dude.
Crush 40, man. They wrote the song for Sonic 06.
Yeah, they still write Sonic songs.
Well, there were like 4 versions.
Yeah. And
one of them is actually a good song. At least I like it. But yeah, were they the ones that wrote Escape from the City?
No, they didn't write that.
I don't know.
That was I don't know who wrote that. I think a guy named Tony performs it, but I don't know if he wrote it. They did Live and Learn.
Live and Learn. Man, that's a good one.
Live and Learn. Open Your Heart.
Open your heart.
Yeah. So like
that's Crush 40?
Yeah, that's Crush 40, dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I'm saying a lot of the songs and these games are good. The Spyro soundtrack is really good.
I don't know much about that.
I wanted to ask you, speaking of Spyro, did you play the original ones on the PS1 or did you play the sequel trilogy on the GameCube?
I played one of them on the GameCube.
Okay, so you played the bad Spyro.
Yeah.
Spyro Into the Dragonfly or something like that was the one on GameCube, and it was not that.
Spyro, I think Enter the Dragonfly. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I played.
So Enter the Dragon is, I think Enter the Dragon is the first. It might just be the Bruce Lee film.
So bad.
What?
Enter the Dragonfly sucked so bad.
Yeah, that. I think it might have just been, Spyro the Dragon, I think, was the first one. Enter the Dragonfly was the first one on the PS2 and GameCube when Insomniac stopped developing. And those weren't as good. Those are not the ones that got remastered. It was Insomniac's PS1 trilogy that got remastered recently, which those are good. So you probably still wouldn't like them because they are bare bones, simplistic, like original platformers. So that's probably why. But yeah, the sequel trilogy, a lot of people don't like. So
yeah, whatever I played, I did not enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever play Sly?
Yeah, I played all 3 Slies.
You've played all. Why didn't you mention that before?
I have. Like
I know
4
you mentioned it
times.
to me. I think.
Oh.
But I'm saying we talked about like stuff you played.
Well, yeah, like on PlayStation, I played.
You played Jack a little bit because you knew that my thing was a precursor word over there.
Yeah, I played. I got relatively far in Jack. I played first Ratchet and Clank. I played.
Did you know Ratchet and Clank has 15 games?
What?
15 entries into the series.
I did not know that. That's freaking weird. Some of them were probably the Clank spinoffs, right?
No, just one. The other ones were on PSP, but they were mainline games.
I played the first one and then like the Up Your Arsenal because my mom didn't understand the joke that all of them are just
all
like
of them.
Yeah.
All of them. I was looking at them today. One's like the Quest for Booty, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, that's one of the titles.
It's crazy. But I played a bunch of that. I played all the Sly games.
Yeah.
I played. There's another one. I'm forgetting. But I played a bunch of them.
Okay.
The Sly ones were fun because at the time I really wanted to play Assassin's Creed, but my parents wouldn't let me play Assassin's
It's a
Creed.
decent substitute.
Because there was some nudity scenes or suggested nudity scenes.
I don't think there's
no nudity.
No, not until the new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's nudity in the new ones?
Starting in Odyssey.
There was nudity?
Yeah.
I didn't play far enough. I don't remember that.
Odyssey. The one in Greece.
Yeah. That's Odyssey.
Origins is what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Origins, Odyssey. I always get them mixed up because of both O.
Yeah.
And then
Valhalla.
Yeah.
I put down Valhalla.
Yeah. I don't play Assassin's Creed anymore, so.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
Yep. So, and you played Tai.
Yeah.
Did you play just Tai 1?
No, I played Tai 2.
Did you play both? Did you play Tai 3?
There's a third?
Yeah.
I did not.
I guess Kingdom Hearts wouldn't fit into this, but
I never played Kingdom Hearts.
the enemies in Tai 3 looked just like the Heartless in Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't play that either because my dad said it was demons.
Man.
He was like, they just look like. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. They just look like shadow ants. Okay, let's see.
They just look like shadow ants.
They look like an ant,
But shadow.
but shadows.
Oh, okay.
That's what they look like in Kingdom Hearts 2, and I couldn't play that
Yeah.
until I lived on my own.
When did you move?
Yeah, these guys. I guess those don't look like ants, but they do in Kingdom Hearts.
Okay,
They look
yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Similar to the things in Kingdom Hearts that are just more stretched out.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. That's
Okay, yeah,
demons,
they
so-
definitely they look like that. I can see that.
So I couldn't play. When did I move out?
Yeah.
I was 23. I'm just kidding. I played before that. But
Okay. I was like, man,
I haven't
come
played Tie
on.
3 yet, but I played Kingdom Hearts. So just so everybody knows.
You're right, Dad.
Going back to Jack, though, this is something I wanted to point out. Jack 1 is drastically different from
Yeah.
Jack 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what happened was I was doing some reading on this because I did a report on Naughty Dog for one of my capstone bachelors. Since
Really?
since my bachelor's is has a game design part
Wow.
in it. Yeah, one of my capstone classes, I had to write a report on anybody I chose that was relevant to the career field that I wanted. I'm not a game developer.
I was about to say
so
you're not.
I'm not a game.
It's not
that-
very relevant.
That's what I was shooting towards, but I chose not to do it. Like after I graduated, I wrote a paper on Naughty Dog and the founders, and they talk about Jack. And Jack 1, they really had to press hard for. It came out and it was a huge hit. But then Insomniac, which is their sister company, because they're both first-party Sony company, or I think Insomniac is only just now first-party, but they pretty much were all the time. They've always made Sony games. They made Ratchet, and then that did better. And everybody's like, "Oh, guns, crude humor, all this stuff." So then they said, "Okay, we've got to pivot," and they made Jack 2 like Ratchet and Clank, and it's so similar if you play it.
I'm
like,
sure.
Jack has Daxter, Ratchet has Clank. They're both their little sidekicks
Yeah.
that just banter. And then you have guns. You've got a machine gun. You've got a shotgun. You've got like a buzzsaw gun. Just like in Ratchet had way more guns, but
Yeah.
they copied it so just blatant.
That-
Like
hey,
this is Ratchet and
that's-
Clank.
like I was saying with the whole Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
The first Jack and Daxter was the Sonic. Everything
right.
since
That's right.
has been the Shadow,
Yeah,
and it's been kind of freaking dope. He grew a goatee.
Jack 2. He did. He grew.
He grew a goatee.
He had a soul patch.
He is so
He had a soul patch. He let his spiky hair grow out
Yeah.
into long.
into a long thing and just started cocking guns back, and going damn.
Then he had
Shadow.
Dark Jack mode, which is just like Sonic Unleashed, where he turns into Were Sonic. It's
Uh-huh.
just like Dark Jack. Like I was like, you ripped off Dark Jack. You thought this was buried enough. So, but
It's so good.
and I want to say that there was like some kind of weird weird dark mirror version of Sly, but I don't think there was.
I don't think so.
There was Shadow Mario. Didn't have his own game, and it was Bowser Jr. But yeah,
He wasn't yelling "damn" when he was running around
No,
getting
he
sprayed, getting hit with water. Be a bit of a departure.
I think that's where the song "All Hail Shadow" comes from. Crush 40 also did that.
All hail Shadow. Man, I hope so.
I'm pretty sure that's where it comes from.
The intro song to the Shadow game, they're like,
I feel no evil.
That's All Hail
Yeah.
Shadow.
Black writings on the wall.
That's All Hail Shadow. That's what that is.
dude, I remember just like sitting there, like listening to the "Here we go, buddy, here we go, here we go, buddy," and I would be like sitting there, like I'm not supposed to listen to it, but like, let's go, come on, yeah, here we go.
Did Shadow the Hedgehog come out before or after Sonic Heroes?
Before, because he was in
Came out
Sonic
before.
Heroes.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the character.
Oh,
I just mean
the game.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it came out after.
I'll look it up.
But Sonic Heroes was a good game too. Did you ever play that?
Mhm.
That was that was more in the Sonic formula, and I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people didn't like the 3D offshoot that the adventure games have, which I'm still hoping that Adventure 3 comes out one day.
Sonic's a dead character. He's the only love he'll get is from Nintendo third-party games. I feel
Sad.
like. Sonic Heroes came out in 03. Shadow the Hedgehog was in 05.
Okay. 05, that was a dark time. That was when Anakin was killing younglings. That was the same year. That was Black Suit. Black Suit Spider-Man came out in 07. I just watched that the other night when he like
Spider-Man
pulls
3?
his bangs down and
Yeah. He came out recently. Tobey Maguire. I don't know if it was recently. He came out after that. He shot that and he was like, "Yeah, it was horrible." Like the director was like, "This is terrible."
I cannot imagine. We were watching. I couldn't. I was sitting there like, I was cringing so bad.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
awful. But anyway, talking about 2007, that's about the time that the PS3 and 360 came out, which entered Generation 7, which is where these 3D platformers really just started dropping off in quality and popularity, but definitely quality. This is where we got, well, before I get into that, so like Nintendo was still, here we go. What is that, 6? I got a long
6.
time. That was like 20 minutes before I did it, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Uh,
I was hoping I was gonna get you to like just symbiote. Like.
I almost did. It was prepping. The bottom of my throat was tightening. Nintendo was still making mainline Mario games with Galaxy and Galaxy 2, but PlayStation was really starting to change gears to target a more mature audience and try to compete with Microsoft, I think, with Halo.
Yeah.
While they weren't making multiplayer games, they were focusing on single player, which they were really starting on. They started with Uncharted. They left behind Jack and Daxter, Naughty Dog did, and started with Uncharted and The Last of Us. And then God of War came about, Resistance came about, Infamous, and all those were really good. Those are, except for Resistance, those 3 are some of my favorite franchises. But that's where they moved their focus to. Sony, just like I said before, Sony was still bringing Ratchet into the PlayStation 3's generation. They had 4 games on the PlayStation 3.
What?
Yeah. 4 mainline Ratchet games.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, and then, Uncharted and Infamous do have mild platforming elements. That's not the center of the game.
But they would not. Yeah, they'd not be considered.
No. But so then, it's pretty clear at this point Sony was focusing on other things. Then enter Call of Duty, which just killed everything. There was nothing existed. Halo was there on the side. Nothing existed for like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, Call of Duty revolutionized gaming.
Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah.
That's all. I had other games. And I remember thinking, like, I've bought these games, but I would buy Call of Duty and I would get my $60 worth out of that game every year. Like, it was a yearly release, but I would get my $60 worth. And I'd buy other games and I'd never get around to them because it was the social aspect that I think was introduced into gaming at that time that Call of Duty really had.
Yeah.
So
like the idea that you could play online with your friend who is, sometimes 10 minutes from your house, sometimes all the way across the country. Like the idea that you could localize like that.
Yeah.
It is. I feel like it's kind of the same thing that that's one for me. 2. That like social media had.
Yeah.
When the social media boom where they're like, wait a minute, I can connect with all of these people that I wasn't able to before.
Yep.
This Call of Duty kind of brought about, well, I mean, Halo kind of had it, but like Call of Duty mainstream marketed the whole Facebook vibe.
Yeah.
Of just being able to talk with anybody.
Yeah.
And you look up clips of Call of Duty lobbies way back in the day.
A dark place.
Dude, I don't think anything makes me laugh harder or quicker
Yeah.
than old school Call of Duty parties because it eventually people are yelling and they're feeling very passionate, and then eventually it's just like like you can't hear anything because everybody's yelling too loud and the mic sucked back then.
Yeah.
So that's great time. You say it was a dark time. I think it was a great time. I think we need to go back.
I had fun during, but I think that it also just kind of like killed people's taste for video games because everybody was force-fed
Call of Duty as a genre was revolutionary and poisoning at the same time.
Yeah, because that's all we had. It was forever. Like Uncharted was just barely even existing in most people's minds. And it was out around the same time. So, back then, now I can talk about stuff like Days Gone or God of War or Spider-Man, and most people have played them. Back then, it was like, no, I just play Call of Duty. I just play Call of Duty.
Only
That's
Call of
it.
Duty.
Yeah, and I was guilty of that.
There's still people. That's all that they play. We know a guy.
No, we do know a guy.
We know a guy.
I can't imagine.
No. I can't play him anymore.
No, I can't. Like, I
It's
just
the same
rage.
thing. Well,
Yeah.
okay, I don't get. I get mad sometimes,
I get mad.
but they're like,
It is the same thing.
the new Modern Warfare, the one
Yeah.
that came out like a year ago. I guess it's almost 2 years. At this
Almost,
point.
yeah.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
That one was good.
I did buy that one.
That
yeah.
one, it felt like changed things up.
I feel like that was also, I bought that though for the social aspect, because I was in the beginning of the pandemic, and I bought it so that I could talk to people.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, it Call of Duty has always kind of been that, like,
yeah,
it did like poison sort of the waters,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it was like that was the commonality. Like,
Yeah.
if you didn't like too many games, you probably at least both minimally enjoyed Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Because they were good back then.
They were. And for me too, playing on the PS3, like when I got the PS4 and I was able to have party chat, I went back to playing single player games. On the PS3, all we had was actual game chat in Call of Duty.
There wasn't party chat?
There was no party chat on PS3.
That's crazy.
It was just game chat. So if I wanted to go and talk and play with my friends, we would have to get into a lobby. A lot of times we just sit in the lobby.
Yeah.
But I'd have to get into the game because I couldn't be playing anything else. So that's another thing
That's
that
crazy.
limited. When I got the PS4 and we could party chat, I went back to playing Assassin's Creed and stuff, but I went back to playing other games that weren't Call of Duty. And then I was like, I think the last one I bought before Modern Warfare was Black Ops 2. Was that on PS3 though? It was the first one. No, it was Ghost. No, it was Advanced Warfare.
Ghost was the one that like bridged the
cross.
gap.
Yeah, it was cross.
Because it came out on 360.
Yeah.
And then the next generation came out, or
Yeah.
7th. Then the 8th generation came out, and it like had a port.
Yeah. So, gosh, I got so far. All right. So, looking at this time period, Sony was pretty lacking, and Xbox had nothing. Like they don't.
Xbox
do 3D
never
platformers.
really got into platforming.
So, they bought one of the biggest platforming icons, Banjo, and turned him into a racing game. So,
Yeah,
we'll see how we saw that.
Hated that.
It was awful. I'm so glad that Smash has his N64 look and not his Xbox look.
Oh my gosh! You knew that if they took the freaking Microsoft look,
Yeah.
they would have gotten the crap beat out of them.
Yeah.
Sakurai would be like dead by this point.
He almost is anyway.
Oh my gosh!
Poor guy. So, Sony was really lacking, and other studios stepped in to pick up the slack. So on the PS3, we saw Rayman 3, which I think came out on PS2, but there was like a port that made it better on PS3. So Ubisoft made Rayman 3. We had the Epic Mickey games that were like Disney marketed real hard, and they never went anywhere.
Yeah, I remember those.
Sonic Generations and Sonic 06. One of those was really good. Generations was really good. One was really bad. Still had good music, but it was really bad.
Yeah, freaking Crush 40.
Crush 40. So Sega had both of those. And then one of the other ones that I played was Mini Ninjas from Eidos Interactive.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah. I actually played that on the 360. So I guess they did have platformers, because by that time the Kinect had come out and I played it on the 360.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a game like it that was a tower defense game. Not like it, but it was another ninja game that looked similar from the book or from the case, but this was a 3D platformer. Sadly, though, most of these games didn't do well in reviews. Like Rayman 3 had a 6.3. Not that bad. Then Epic Mickey had a 4.2. This is Epic Mickey 2, by the way. And then Sonic 06 had a 4.4. So.
Sonic 06 got a better score than a game. Not just the freaking. I think Epic.
It's like the
Mickey.
where it looks like he's drawing and.
Oh, he's got like the pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that's insane, because that game Sonic 06 was like That was
broken.
it was a I don't know what went wrong, but something went wrong.
I don't know what went wrong in their heads. Yeah, I had enough of Shadow and Maria all the time, and then like
Maria,
and then they took it to the next level in Sonic 06.
kill Maria. Dude, I remember watching like in the intro cinematic, like Sonic is like all beat up and he like falls down. It looks like he dies. And Shadow's just got like a head, like a gun. He's holding it, and his pupils start like looking around real quick. It's like bang, 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 bang. I remember at the very beginning too of that of that intro cinematic, he's got like an assault rifle, and he's like he kind of picks it up and then he cocks it like a shotgun. And I remember I was thinking, oh, what is that? What kind of gun is that? All I remember is that there was a pistol and a sword and a gun that turned people into chickens and chows.
In Chow's, there's the Sheepinator in in Ratchet.
They had a bunch of wacky guns.
Yeah, like the disco gun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never played Sonic 06.
I didn't either. I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I liked how it kind of it seemed like it had some RPG elements, but then I watched somebody play it and I was like, no.
Yeah, well,
it just had different shoes. That's not really RPG.
Link just has different tunics.
Yeah, but they are in good games.
Yeah.
This was
fair.
like
It's fair.
This was like put on these shoes, or it was like a diamond in his shoes. Like put in the purple gem and you get tall. Like, oh, okay.
That was kind of an adventure, except they had actual like reasons. It was progression, like for the light shoes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There was a
those are
reason
cool.
for that,
and it was a good game.
Yeah.
And there was no furry.
Some people think that Adventure 1 and 2 are not good games. Like some people think DK64 is not good.
I don't understand the DK as much. I could understand the argument, especially I've never played one.
Well,
but for Adventure Battle 2, I can understand the argument.
Adventure Battle 2, I hate the Tails and Eggman levels.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're horrible.
Suck.
Horrible.
I like the treasure hunt levels. They were okay.
Yeah,
I like doing it multiplayer.
well, yeah, because it was such a shift. You know, like you had the Sonic and Shadow levels.
Yeah.
They were about going fast, and that's Sonic's the whole thing. The finding the gems one at least was a big enough shift to where it was like, okay, this is like a new thing. But then the Eggman and Tails levels, it was like you're basically doing the same thing. You just have a really crappy loud gun that goes beep every time you want to shoot it.
Yeah.
It just gives you a headache.
That
That's the worst.
Awful, yeah. Yeah, I hated those.
Ugh.
But anyway, so yeah, in Gen 7 we didn't get much. But then in Gen 8 it started looking up, I think. Gen 8 to now, which is what I want to talk about next week, is it seems like the genre is kind of coming back, and I think that has a lot to do with people that are our age now are adults and have adult money for one, and then actually make the games. So there's a lot of indies that I want to talk about, and there's a lot of remasters for games that we played, like Spyro and Crash, and I never played Crash, but Spyro I did. Crash, Ratchet had a remaster in 2016. It's been a while.
Poor one.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that too. I liked it. I'm really excited. The second one comes out like the week before my birthday. That's what I'm gonna.
Really?
Get. Yeah.
When's your birthday?
June 17th.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Oh no, that
comes out like
not
June.
the next mainline one. Okay, yeah. I knew that. The Rift in Time or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying that the second one gets remastered. I was like, what? Going commando? You bet your bottom dollar I'm getting that.
No, it's the new one.
Okay.
Yeah. Rift Apart, like you said, or something like that.
Something like that.
So it's like it's the first one that's going to use the PS5 to one of its full potentials. Like it's going to immediately warp you into different worlds and stuff.
Pretty lit.
So anyway, yeah, Gen 7 left it in a bad place overall, but Gen 8 really started to bring it back with indie titles and AAA remakes. So that's what we'll talk about next week. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like anything else, I'm going to get into another rabbit hole.
Spoil it.
Yeah, I know.
Spoil it.
I know.
So to keep Mason from spoiling, that's all for us this week. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We talked about a whole lot, and we rambled about some good stuff, some good Shadow stuff. You haven't played Shadow the Hedgehog? Go play Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a funny game. You're gonna laugh really hard.
Damn.
But if you like what you heard, then you're gonna enjoy us next week when we do the second part of our 2-part and Redheaded Stepchild series.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like what we said or you hated what we said, hit us up at our socials. At DigiWaypoint on Twitter and at Digital Waypoint on Instagram. So if you have any thoughts or concerns as to games that we did or did not play or really anything, hit us up. We're always down to chit-chat.
Yeah, and don't forget to rate us on Apple Podcasts. They help us with placement there a lot. Rate us anywhere else that you're listening to. I think Spotify is the only place that doesn't let you rate. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Digital Waypoint on there too.
Mason, what episode are we?
We are at, this is number 6.
This is episode 6. So by now, we've got a firm audience. So they know what time it is. And of course, that time is for the action music, baby! Woo!